Hello and welcome to this demonstration of IBM Cognos analysis for Excel. My name is Colm Kennelly and I will be taking you through the demonstration. So what I'd like to show in this demonstration is how users can create their own analysis of financial data from the Financial Data Mart using Microsoft Excel as an interface. How they can share that work with other users, how they can use Excel formatting and formulas against the data, and how that information can be further enhanced by using some of the Cognos report authoring tools. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to launch Excel. Excel opening up on my desktop. I've got the standard Excel menus, and then over to the right I've got this IBM Cognos menu. Now if I click on the IBM Cognos button to enable that, then over on the right I get my Cognos for Microsoft Office window pane. Now from here I could go against the Financial Data Mart and I could import any reports that have already been authored, but I want to create my own analysis. So I'm going to click on the analysis button. I'm going to create a new exploration, and it says to me you need to select a package, and the package is really just the logical sort of model that's pointing at the underlying data mart cubes. Now that I'm trying to communicate and get information from the data mart, I need to give it some credentials. I'm logging on and it gives me a list of the packages and content that are available, and as it happens I want the first one there on the list. And then it shows me what's contained within that data mart. So I may have a number of data sources coming from potentially different places, data mart, Cognos planning data, relational data, etc. And here I've organized my information into balance sheet, income statement, store, profit and loss. And if we look at one of those, I'm going to be working with the store, profit and loss. And I can see all of the dimensions and measures which have been defined in there. So I've got things like, scenarios where I'm capturing actuals, budgets, and working out variances, and I'm capturing information against departments, periods, and I've got a store hierarchy. What I want to do is to create a new exploration. So if I click on that button, it puts a blank exploration into my Excel worksheet and gives me the ability to add in rows, columns, context, calculations, etc. So what I want this to look like is I want to have some of my income statement items visible. Now I could cherry pick individual ones, or I could bring in a group of them and just drag that across into the rows area of my spreadsheet. I also want to have some scenarios across the top, so I'm going to grab all the scenarios and insert those. I can drop it in on the top here, or I could have dropped it in on those column headings there. I need to choose at least one measure, and we're capturing data potentially in euros, pounds, other currencies. So I'm going to bring in my euros measure. And now I've got some data. So now that the information is in Excel, I'll probably want to do a few more things to this before I kind of save and share this work. And one of them is to highlight individual rows and put some space in here, so things are much more clear on the layout. So for example, I want to have a blank row underneath sales, a blank row underneath costs of sales, and I want the net income figure to stand out as well. So I'm going to insert a user row and a user column. In addition, I may want to add in further calculations into this particular report. So if I wanted to manually work out, for example, earnings per share, I could type that in there and then just type in a standard Excel formula. So I'm going to say equals net income divided by 32,000 or whatever it is, and copy that across. In addition, I can use standard Excel formatting options. So if I want this variance percent to appear as a percentage, I can go to my standard Excel home bar, click on the percentage format option, increase the decimals, etc. So very quickly I've been able to connect to my Financial Data Mart, build a simple exploration of the data, and really start to take control and customize that. And at this stage, I might decide, well, I'm quite happy to publish this up so other colleagues can look at this information and use the same report. So now I'm going to publish it. Click on the publish button. It shows me that folder structure again, and this time I'm going to save it into my financial data mart content, and I'm going to save it into my Microsoft Office content, and I'm just going to call it income statement. Click on publish. That's done, and in a moment I'll log on as another user going into my web-based access to the financial data mart via Cognos connection, and see how that user can run this exact same report that I've done with security. So that we can see the effect of what's happened, I'm going to log on to Cognos Business Intelligence to access the financial data mart via my web browser. And this time I'm going to log on as a different user. I'm going to log on as Rob. And Rob can see the same content that's available to the other users. And by navigating to the financial data mart content and by going to Microsoft Office content, on here we can see this income statement.xlsx that was created by another user earlier. Click on the link, prompts me to open it, opens it up in the Excel client for Rob. It could potentially do further analysis, further changes to it, or maybe what Rob wants to do is just take a copy of this, just convert it to a standard view, and then save it down as a local Excel file. So we've seen how Cognos analysis for Excel can be used to author reports and publish and share those reports. Now I want to spend a few minutes looking at how it can be used for really more analysis. So again, I'm going to create a new exploration. And I'm going to use my store profit and loss because I've got some good information in here. And I really want to do some analysis around our stores this time. So we've got stores in the United Kingdom and in Ireland, and we've got regional, provincial hierarchies drilling down to individual stores. So I want this view to start off at the kind of the higher level of just looking at the countries to begin with. I'd like to look at this by period. So I'm going to drag the periods into my columns. And again, I want to look at euros, and I want to filter this so that we're only looking at sales information. So I've got a very simple, very high level view of the data at the moment. And you'll see up here on my toolbar, there's a number of options available to me, such as swapping the rows and the columns. Very simply just transposes the view that I'm working with. Now, if I wanted further information about Ireland, well, there's a number of ways I could do this. I could right click on here and it brings up my Excel menu, but also my Cognos analysis menu. And you can see I can drill up and drill down in hierarchies if I want to investigate how a particular number is made up. And I could drill back up again, or I could use the back function to undo that and go back to my last position. Or I may decide I want to expand what I'm looking at within Ireland. So it'll show me the total for Ireland, leave the UK, the number visible there as well, but give me the makeup of that particular number. Or similarly, if I wanted to expand all of my countries, but I've just got two in this case, I can expand the level, the entire level, so that will expand out the report to give me a view of both Ireland and the United Kingdom. So in addition to being able to drill up and drill down, I can add in my own custom calculations. So if I wanted to see, for example, the sum of Connacht and Leinster, simply highlight the two items. It brings up my ability to insert calculations, and it says, okay, well, typical calculations you might want to do for this would be to add up the two items. And it places that item underneath the second item that I chose. I might decide as well, I'd really want to see that kind of at the bottom of this report, So from here, I can reorder and rename my items. And I'm going to take this calculation of Connacht and Leinster and put it right down to the bottom. Okay, so that new item has been added into my report. And again, I could, if I'm happy with this and want to keep it and share it, I can publish it back up to my my Cognos connection server where the data mart reports are all stored. But maybe I want to have an offline copy of this, so I can convert this to static and then keep a local copy of the Excel file on my machine and maybe email it to somebody. And for the final part of the demonstration, I just wanted to show how once we've created different content in Excel, we can combine it all together into an Excel report pack. So if I launch my Excel report pack from Cognos Connection, it prompts me to open it, and again it opens it up in Excel and also opens up my IBM Cognos for Microsoft Office window. So here what I've done is I've just created a very simple index page with a logo and some hyperlinks, and if I click on income statement, it takes me into a view of the income statement like the one that we created earlier. And I can navigate around, go back to the menu, maybe jump into the sales area and get some more detail on there, and as before, if I select an element and I want to get further information on that, I can drill down right within the Excel window. Also, I wanted to demonstrate how we could combine content both within Excel but also existing Cognos reports that we may have written which may contain graphs. So if we've already authored these in Cognos, we can reuse them in the Cognos analysis for Excel client. And similarly, any other reports that we've written can be embedded and run live within Cognos analysis for Excel. So what I've tried to demonstrate is how Cognos analysis for Excel can be used to author content from a financial data mart using an Excel client. That information can be saved and shared in Cognos Connection so that other users can access it. How Cognos analysis for Excel can be used to analyze, drill down and slice and dice on data, and also how it can be used to combine multiple data sources and graphical information into reporting packs. Thank you.